With more than 40 museums to choose from and an atmospheric old town to explore, you won't have any trouble finding things to do in Basel. Few cities in Europe can match Switzerland's second largest city for its concentration of cultural attractions and things to do. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the top 10 rated attractions and things to do in Basel. Before we begin though, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more awesome travel guides and make sure you hit the notification bell so that you know when we publish a new video. So now let's cut to the chase. And at 10, Historisches Museum. The 14th century Barfüßerkirche was renovated in the 1970s to house the historical museum with important collections on local history and culture. It spotlights particularly the city's unique position at the crossroads between Swiss, German and French cultures. In the nave of the church are the late Gothic tapestries and the curious Lallenkönig, a crowned head with a movable tongue and eyes that was the emblem of Gross Basel in the 17th century. In the aisles are weapons and furnished period rooms. In the choir religious art and in the crypt is the Minster treasury, recovered after being saved from destruction during the Reformation. Interesting exhibits deal with the importance of silk ribbon manufacture in Basel from the late 18th through the 19th century. At 9, take a break at Tierpark Lange, Erlen. When you need a break from Basel's abundance of museums and historic attractions, or if you're looking for things to do with children, take a tram or bike to the Tierpark, an expanse of green parkland alongside the river. Here you'll meet a variety of local wildlife: deer, lynx, wild boar and others, roaming free in their natural habitat, discreetly fenced from the public. Swans and ducks swim as herons fish in the ponds, and colourful peacocks roam about the grounds. More birds inhabit the spacious aviary, and an assortment of farm animals are in stables and paddocks. It is a peaceful green space for walking and relaxing, and a good place for children to meet animals in a non-zoo environment. They can also let off energy in the large playground. At 8, smile at the Tinguely fountain. Completed in 1977, the playful fountain designed by the Swiss artist Jean Tinguely quickly became a Basel landmark. Placed inside a large, shallow pool, 10 large figures made of scrap metal seem to be playing with each other in the water as they move and spray jets of water into the air. Powered by low-voltage current, these playful and ingenious water-spouting mechanical figures are built from pieces of metal equipment from the old theatre that once stood on this spot. In the winter, the fountain becomes a series of fantastic ice sculptures as the water freezes around the figures. You can see more of his unusual and imaginative sculpture in the Basel at the Jean Tinguely Museum. Next up is 7, Rathaus and Marktplatz. The focal point of the old town is Marktplatz, where you'll still find the colourful daily market selling local produce, flowers and food specialties. Dominating the square is the bright red Basel Rathaus with its colourful painted facade. The arcaded main building is in late Burgundian Gothic style, dating from 1504 to 1521. The new wing to the left and the tall tower on the right are 19th century additions. The clock dates from the building's origins, the work of Master Wilhelm's from the early 1500s. Be sure to step into the beautiful courtyard to see the wall paintings restored from 1608 to 1611 originals. The statue from 1574 on the outer staircase represents the legendary founder of the town, Munatius Plancus. You can also see the 2 council chambers, the Regierungsratssaal with its impressive wood panelling and the Grossratssaal decorated by 15 coats of arms of the Swiss cantons. At 6, learn about printing at Papiermühle. Set on a medieval canal with an operating water wheel, an old paper mill has been turned into a museum of writing, printing and paper, showing the printing and paper-making processes with actual working machinery. As you tour the museum, you can watch the laborious production of handmade paper, explore the evolution of printing from before Gutenberg's press through the demise of lead type in the 1980s, and see how books are bound. Displays follow the development of writing from primitive pictographs through modern typography. At 5 now, Museum Tinguely. The Museum Tinguely, remember that name, contains the largest collection of this influential Swiss artist's work thanks to a generous donation by his widow Niki de Saint-Phal, as well as contributions by other collectors. The collection includes Tinguely's sculptures and drawings, as well as an extensive library of documents and photographs. The museum also hosts visiting installations that change every 3 months, focusing on artists who inspired Tinguely, as well as the work of contemporary artists. The building housing the collection was designed by famed architect Mario Botta. Next up then, at 4, visit Basler Münster. Set atop the highest point on Münsterhügel, Basel's Minster is easily spotted by its prominent spires and brightly patterned roof tiles. The spacious Münsterplatz, formerly the site of a Roman fort, is an elegant 18th century square. Built of red sandstone from the Vosges mountains of France between the 9th and 13th centuries, the Minster was rebuilt in Gothic style after an earthquake in 1356. But some of the original church remains. The high altar and much of the furnishings were destroyed by Protestants in 1529, but the greatest treasures were hidden in the sacristy vaulting and survived. You can see some in the Historical Museum. Be sure to see the St. Gallus doorway in the north transept with its many 12th century Romanesque stone carvings, one of the oldest figured doorways in German-speaking Europe. The tympanum above the doorway shows the wise and foolish virgins, with Christ enthroned above, flanked by Peter and Paul. A large rose window lies above the doorway. Inside, the lower part of the choir is Romanesque. Be sure to notice the capitals carved with rich foliage and animals, and the Romanesque capitals in the nave and the ambulatory. In front of the pulpit, under glass, is a piece of the late Romanesque pavement from the 12th century. From inside the church, you can access the stairs to the top of the south tower. The crypt, which can be entered from beside the choir, contains the tombs of 10th to 13th century bishops and an excellent Romanesque frieze on the piers. Ceiling frescoes depict scenes from the life of the Virgin and other New Testament themes. The beautiful 15th century double cloister, entered from Rittergasse, contains monuments ranging over 5 centuries. At 3 now, take the kids to the Zoologischer Garten. Switzerland's oldest and largest zoo, Basel Zoo, is affectionately known as the Zolli by locals, and it is one of the most visited tourist attractions in Switzerland. It has been named one of the 15 best zoos in the world. Founded in 1874 with 510 European animals, today the zoo is known more for exotic species. With predators, primates, mammals, reptiles, birds and aquatic life, the population ranges from seahorses to elephants, the latter now enjoying an elephant enclosure added in 2015 with wallowing pools, showers and a savanna-like environment. The lion enclosure and monkey house are highlights, along with the penguins in the vivarium, which also houses fish and reptiles. The aviary houses both indigenous and exotic birds, as well as birds of prey. The zoo has been particularly successful in breeding rhinoceros and cheetahs. The realistic habits and variety of exotic animals make this one of the favourite places to visit with children in Basel. And now at 2, stroll through the Old Town. The part of Basel that lies roughly between the river and the old city gate at Spallentor is not large, but quite atmospheric with its stone streets, medieval churches, beautifully maintained old homes and brightly painted fountains. But leave it to Basel to introduce a thoroughly modern and whimsical fountain by Swiss sculptor Jean Tinguely in the midst of the stately historic houses. From Marktplatz, wander west along Spalenberg with detours into some of the narrow side streets, such as Leonhardsberg and Spalenberg, Heuberg. This was the old artisans' neighbourhood. Or wander along Freierstrasse, which begins with the Renaissance Geldenzunfthaus from 1578. At number 25 is the Guild House of the Locksmiths, dating from 1488 and decorated in Baroque style in 1733. Look for more wall paintings at the Guild House of the Hausgenossen at 34. In the Little Fischmarkt, you'll find a reproduction of a Gothic fountain whose original you can see in the Historical Museum. And finally, at number 1, admire art at Kunstmuseum, Basel. The Kunstmuseum, enhanced by the added exhibition space of a 2015 wing, is considered the finest collection of paintings in Switzerland, representing both old masters and modern art. On the first floor are the old masters and a collection of French and Dutch paintings. Outstanding among these are the 15th century Heil Spiegelalter by Conrad Witz, 16th century portraits by Holbein the Younger, Crucifixion by Matthias Grunewald, and Rembrandt's David with Goliath's Head from 1627. The second floor houses an outstanding collection of 19th and 20th century Impressionists, Expressionists and Surrealists. You'll find major works by Gauguin, Van Gogh, Corot, Cézanne, Braque, Picasso, Kandinsky, Leger, Chagall, Klee, Dalí, Max Ernst and others, along with later works and special exhibitions. And there you have the top 10 rated attractions and things to do in Basel. Did you like what you saw? Let us know in the comments down below. Share this video with your friends and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more fantastic travel guides. See you next time.